Hello and welcome again to another fragrance review, if you want to call that, with me, Musam Raza. Today I actually really wanted to cover something that I've been working on for probably two and a half years now, and something it's just been super hard to do. You can see I have a Creed flacon here of Vintage Tabarome. You can see we've gone through quite a bit of the juice. This was a 3/4 full bottle when I got it, and have a little decant here as well. There's a little bit left in the decant for spraying purposes, obviously, but it's finally done. We finally figured it out, and our duo version is called Origins of Tabac. And I don't know if you guys can see very clearly, but we did a 1-to-1 ingredient match on this one, and it wasn't easy obtaining the right ingredients, but we were able to get it. So you can even see the deadly color match. There's no colors in the duo version. It's crazy how close we were able to get with Vintage Tabarome. Now, allegedly, Vintage Tabarome came out in 1875. It was in the market, I believe, for 65 years before Creed decided to vault it because of ingredient scarcity. I can for sure attest to the part that the ingredients for this one were very scarce. Getting the right kind of tobacco absolute was especially the biggest mission. It's actually a combination of 3 different tobacco absolutes from various regions around the world put together in certain ratios that really gives Vintage Tabarome that vintage, very tobacco-y vibe that you want to call it, but that's also fresh at the same time with the citruses in here, right? Getting those tobacco absolutes were a little bit of a mission, and then creating them in harmony to emit what Vintage Tabarome does. This one here, very hard to get. I think I personally 3 years ago paid upwards of $4,000 for this flacon, and it was 3/4 full. But now that it's almost a little bit less than half, I've still been offered around $4,000 for selling this little bit under half of what's remaining right now. So it's definitely appreciated in value, right? And it will continue to do so as more time goes on and Vintage Tabarome, whatever's out there right now, just starts going off of the market. So wanted to discuss how close we got with this one. We're at a whooping, I think the exact numbers were around the 92 point something range, but let's just call it rounded down. But we're at a whooping 92% match rate with a 1-to-1 ingredient match. I personally feel the tobacco and the citrus with the ambergris, the way it's done in this one, Vintage Tabarome, it laid out the groundwork for your modern tobacco fragrances that we saw started coming out in like the 80s, going inwards to the 90s, even the 2000s. If you sniff very closely the duo version or the Vintage Tabarome, you'll pick up hints of vanilla in the tobacco notes. When you look at mass successes like Tom Ford Tobacco Vanille, I personally believe the vanilla aspect that they took the tobacco for Tobacco Vanille and just amped up to create like a vanillic cigar vibe. The vanilla aspect comes from here, the original rather, and now the duo version. But though not being a vanilla dominant fragrance, Vintage Tabarome, the way vanilla is blended with those tobacco notes and those citruses up top, I believe even that's not the same direction that Tom Ford went in with Tobacco Vanille, but it was definitely derived if you want to call it, from Vintage Tabarome. And I think this fragrance laid the groundwork for many modern tobacco fragrances that followed post this one. So let's spray it now. Should be pretty good. There's still some in here. Yeah, that opening herbaceous, earthy tobacco with a hint of citrus, almost making it like a very dirty citrusy tobacco in the opening is actually pretty well preserved in such an old bottle, and that actually helped. Since it was preserved, we didn't have to go and find more bottles and try to capture that opening. But here's the Duo version. It comes with a metal plaque called Origins of Tabac. Yeah, immediately it's an amped up opening as compared to the original, because obviously even though the opening's nice and preserved, the volatile citrus notes have dissipated over time, so it goes more into a fresh tobacco, almost drying down into that herbaceous tobacco. While the Duo version, it keeps the citrus tobacco notes apparent, they're still apparent here. And here it's just gone straight to the ambergris at this point. A tobacco ambergris, if you want to call it, no sweetness left. The freshness is completely gone. You're just left with a very herbaceous bag of tobacco with some ambergris. The original I'm talking about, obviously because some top notes have dissipated while the scent DNA is preserved. But the Duo, it feels more rounded at this point because it is a fresher formulation, obviously. If you were to just smell them side by side, it would be very, very hard to figure out which one is Vintage Tabarome and which one is Origins of Tabac. Again, it's deadly accurate, and it's a very good thing that it's so accurate. Like, you would have to really start splitting hairs and start going into the herbaceousness of tobacco that you would get in Vintage Tabarome versus the fresh herbaceousness of the tobacco that you get in here because of it being a newer formulation, and the citrus notes are still very much present here, where they've just kind of muted down, and all you're getting is just like a powdered dirty tobacco with some ambergris in the back end. While here you're getting more of a fresher, a more citric based tobacco, which will dry down eventually. Like, see, it's drying down, and the herbaceous part of the tobacco is coming out more, while this is now going towards more of a deeper ambergris. The herbaceousness is going away, but it's more like a ambergris drizzled tobacco now at this point, within a few minutes almost. Yeah, this is, I mean, it's probably as close as we can get in today's perfumery with the resources of chemical analysis available to us, and obviously using the nose to try and find some of the subtle nuances, like the herbaceous qualities and how to blend them. But it's not 100%, because nothing can be, obviously, because we are recreating it, but it's as close as it can humanly and scientifically get at this point. Yeah, super happy with this one. I mean, super duper happy. I don't think we could have made it any better. It's already an amazing fragrance. If you love tobacco, do try it. I promise you, you will absolutely love Origins of Tabac. It's releasing this Friday. One more time, it's a metal plaque. Bottle sprays really nicely with the nice atomizers. You know, it's just so good. It's really good. Do try it, and please do share your feedback. And with that, I want to actually give away this bottle right here. It's slightly used, I believe, sprayed a few times. You know, there's still 30 ml in here. We filled the bottle to around 34, 35 ml. So there's still exactly 29, 30 ml in here. I would love to give this bottle away. So like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and just mention in the notes that I would love to try this recreation, and we'll have the team randomly put the comments into a wheelie, and we'll select one, and then someone will be in touch with the winner, and we will send them this bottle. TheDuoBrand.com releases on Friday. There's a Duo 30 this weekend. Please do try it. You will love it if you're a tobacco lover. Yes, we'll see you next time. Thank you, and stay fragrant, and we'll see you soon. Thank you guys. Love you guys from the heart. Have a great day.